Hey there, welcome back to my garden. If you're new here, my name is Lacey and I'm gardening in Western Oregon, Zone 8B. And today we're going to be doing a little bit of a planting project right along our driveway garden. I'm going to be replacing some plants that weren't doing well, so I cut them way far back, and now I'm going to dig them out and put in some absolutely beautiful boxwood. However, these aren't just any boxwood. I'm really excited to have gotten my hands on these. I have 4 of them. They're the NewGen Boxwood. This is the Freedom variety. This was one of the first ones that they created, and the exciting thing about the NewGen Boxwoods is that they are being basically, I guess, invited into the Proven Winners ColorChoice Shrubs line, which really goes to show how amazing this shrub is. Not just any plant gets brought into that line, and I know that that's an indication of how awesome this boxwood is. So now the thing about the Freedom variety is that it is a faster growing boxwood. As you can see on the back here, it says that the growth is fast, 3 to 5 inches per year, which is pretty incredible for a boxwood. And that means that this variety does need to be pruned yearly. They say that they do tend to get bronze in the winter, though we're pretty mild, so I don't know if it will actually show that. To keep the very dense habit for these and any boxwood that has a faster growth habit, I'm really going to have to shear them in late winter, probably early spring, towards beginning of March, I think. Pretty hard in order to keep them nice and tight and prevent them from splaying out. Because the faster growing shrub it is, especially for boxwood, the more tendency they'll have to splay open if they're not, shorn into a tighter sphere. So that's what I'm going to be doing with these. I'm not worried about it. It should be pretty simple to do. But the thing with these is that they are also very resistant to boxwood blight, which we have not had yet over here in Oregon. But it's good to be aware of things like that, as well as some other pests that mess with boxwoods. You can also see, hopefully it's showing up on camera, just how beautiful and glossy these leaves are. They are so vibrant, so healthy looking. I've had these for a few weeks now, just sitting in their containers waiting to be planted in, and they just still look absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to be doing is, you can see here's an opening right here where that one is set right there, and then where this one is set right here. In these spaces I had some Spanish lavender, and they were in the ground for about 5 years, and they just were really starting to have problems. There was chunks that were dying out. I'm not really sure what was happening there, but they weren't thriving. And I wasn't exactly loving anymore the contrast between the color of the Spanish lavender and the barberries, and then the chartreuse coloring of the the names of these little guys on the bottom escape me, but the Dusty Miller, and then this here, the Caryopteris, just the color was kind of throwing me off. I really wanted something that was rich and deep and evergreen also. So I decided on boxwood, and then when I was at my local garden center, I saw that they had these NewGen boxwoods, and I really was excited to try them. So I have 3 right here. This Spanish lavender is still doing okay, so it gets to stay. But then I had another lavender here that just was doing the same thing, and so I'm going to be putting this one in this spot. Now these can get kind of large. After 15 years, it says that they could be 3.5 feet by 3.5 feet. So that'll just be something I'm going to have to stay on as far as pruning them, keeping them nice and dense. They're just an accent that I have continued out throughout my different garden beds. You can see over into this garden, you see those little mounds coming up against the white annuals there. Those are mounded boxwoods. I have one here on the end of the garden. This variety is green velvet, so they stay a little bit smaller and a little bit more compact. But then I have some boxwood cones over there. And it's like I said, it's just an element that I like to continue on through my gardens, just to have a feature, I guess, that kind of continues on from garden to garden and ties them all together. So first of all, I'm going to have to dig out, and hopefully it goes well. I'm going to have to dig out the roots of the lavender, and hopefully they come out easy enough. We will see, and then I will use my auger to just rough up the ground a little bit more, and then I will probably put in some land and sea fertilizer, I think, into the holes, just to give these guys some extra nutrients as I plant them in. It just honestly never fails that when I think that a project is going to be very, very simple, it ends up being just a challenge and giving me a run for my money. This one definitely did. I thought, oh, I have 4 shrubs to plant. Easy peasy. Well, I hit so much concrete in the first 2 holes, so many rocks in the third hole, and then the last one, which I ended up digging 3 times. The first time, my gosh, it was like it was might as well have been concrete. It was so hard. I I don't know. I used my auger as you saw, and it probably took a good, I don't even know, 4 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's auging, that's a long time, 4 or 5 minutes. I don't know. Anyway, then I put it in the wrong spot. I don't know what is with me and putting plants in wrong spots. I need to think harder before I plant, I guess. I don't know what the deal is, but I pulled it out, dug a different hole, pulled it out, dug a different hole. I ended up moving it forward. Let's just start with that one. I'm happy with where it ended up. So let's just take a look at this boxwood, walk our way down, and we will be finishing up for the day. Okay, so here was the 4th one that we planted in. Like I said, at first I planted it too far back. I don't know why I did that. It was way too close to the rhododendron that's back there. And then I moved it forward, but I moved it too close to the barberry. So then I moved it over this way. Guess I was thrown off by the wispy branches of this Caryopteris that's next to it. But anyway, it's in a good spot now. I like that it's forward a little bit more because it kind of creates a little bit of a curve to the front of this bed. And I think that looks a lot better than having it tucked back and just kind of getting lost in that back area. So then coming this way, these ones are the ones that gave me a run for my money. This one had a ton of rocks in it. This one and this one at the end were the ones that had a ton of concrete in them. I think probably from when the base was poured for the transformer that we have back there when we built our house. But anyway, tried to get out as much of that as I possibly could so that these didn't struggle. I think that's probably why the lavender struggled. I imagine that the container that the lavender came in was quite a bit smaller than the large size of these boxwood. So I didn't notice it, I guess, as much. So I don't know. Hopefully these guys do well. I think that they'll be just fine. They had a really nice big hole to start out in, and then I got a lot of the concrete out. So in this one I got a lot of the rocks out, and I think this one will be just fine. But looks really good. I'm really happy with the bright, such fresh color, such fresh brightness on these leaves of these Freedom boxwoods. So I think these are going to do great as long as I stay on top of shearing them in late winter, early spring. I think they'll be really, really awesome for this spot. So obviously when it comes time to prune them, I will show you how that goes. I think I'll have to pruned them pretty hard this first year. We'll see. I guess we'll see how much growth they put on and how floppy they are in the winter and how much they bronze out. That will affect it too, how much I prune off of them. So we will see, but it feels good to get these guys in. It feels good to be done with this project, and I am done out in the garden today. I'm going to head inside and start making some dinner, clean off my feet for sure, and enjoy the rest of the evening. And I hope you guys do too. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for hanging out with me while I planted these boxwoods, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.